tomorrow. Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I still got to finish my coffee making. I didn't get to finish making my coffee. I didn't light my sage, nothing yet. So I'm still kind of...
See, you're having the same kind of morning as me.
It is one of those mornings. And I've been having one of those weeks, to be honest. And my apologies for disappearing mid-conversation last time.
Oh my goodness. I was going to call you twice this week just to talk. And then I saw my name at 1 a.m. last night. I was working and I went, oh my goodness, I'm on Laura's show in a few hours. So it's like, oh crap.
I remember you said, yeah, I can do the 14th. And I was like, sweet, done, good. And then somebody called me and I got totally distracted.
Hey, I'm here. That's all that matters, right? It works.
Like, by the way, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. By the way, see you in the morning.
Well, this is how I plan my podcast, for the record. Like, very last minute and kind of like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, well, I like it. I'm an adventurer just like you, so I like that.
Good. So. I'm glad to hear
it. Yeah.
Happy to be flexible. It's good. We need that around here.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I didn't tell anybody that I was on here today because I didn't know. But it's
Tami and I spoke last week, and I'm like, can you come on the 14th? She's like, yeah, sure. And I just disappeared. I vanished. I'm pretty sure I had a phone call come through or I had to do something. And my ADD is so bad that I'm like, oh, shiny thing, you know?
Well, I am almost 1000% positive that time is moving faster. Like, I don't know what is happening.
I was joking with Tami this morning. Like, I feel like I have whiplash from the amount of that has happened in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
And people, like, no offense to the collective or anything, but people are acting crazy.
Yeah.
That's not helping. It's really.
That's true. That doesn't help.
It's really not helping much, especially with my own trying to stay sane here.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I recognize some of you. Hi,
Good
Patrick.
morning.
So do you know who Patrick James is? Do you know him? He's in James. He's in your audience, so like right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he was on my live last week and I went to his page just randomly. I don't remember why. And he is an excellent singer. Like there's this one song that I think I played 5 times in the last week. It was so pretty.
Oh, I love that.
So everybody go to his page. It's really pretty. I don't know what it's called, but it was really pretty. So
I'll have to hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't know you
Patrick, bring your music here. It's really beautiful. Hi, Karen. I see you. Hi, Ariana. Hi, everybody. I did see other names I knew, but they go so fast here. Like the names just keep going up, and up. You know, it's crazy. Hi, Allison. Hi, everybody.
Really nice to see you all this morning. Happy birthday, Sophie. I saw Sophie's birthday. I was waiting for you to come on so I could say that. Awesome. It's Sophie's birthday.
So how have you been, Laura? I've tried to catch up with you in PA, but it did not work out. I didn't really catch up with barely anybody.
It has been a wild ride the last couple weeks, and I've been. Yeah. To be honest, like I'm still kind of like, what planet am I on? Kind of like you just feel a bit like, wow, considering how much has happened. And to be honest, I keep getting upgrades. Last night, I was doing some clearings with some friends. We were sitting down with Adriana and Zach, but we also have some mediumship students who are sitting in with us to develop their mediumship stronger so they can do spirit release as well. And we had a couple of us hanging out. And Yeshua popped in.
Wow.
And I felt his energy come through because like something happened. It felt like my crown, like something was going on with my crown. And then I was like, Yeshua? Because I remembered that feeling before. Wow. And then I got the flutter in my chest. And I said something to Zach. I was like, do we have a guest right now? Do we have a visitor? And he goes, yes. And then one of the other people asked, is it so-and-so? And he's like, no. And he goes, is it Yeshua? And he goes, yes, it is. And I was like, I can feel him working on my crown right now. And he goes, that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing something with your crown. So as last night, I'm sitting here, I was doing something. I can't remember what I was doing. I was sending emails or something. And all of a sudden, I felt this, I don't know what it was, but it was like a crown chakra activation, I guess is the best way of putting it. But my whole head felt like it grew 10 times bigger than it was. Like my whole head felt like it was huge. And I was like, whoa. I felt like a bubble head, like in a car.
Wow.
Bubble head. And it took me nearly 30 minutes for my vibration because I could feel the intensity of it.
Yeah.
And my third eye was also pulsing. Like I could feel it doing this.
Wow.
Weirdest sensations. And I'm like, what is even going on here?
So when that happens to you, how long do you think it takes you to figure out what it was that they were doing or telling you or whatever?
Well, you know what's funny is I can normally tell right away, but then I gaslight myself until somebody validates me.
Yeah. That's what I do too. That's exactly what I do.
I don't know why my doubt is the way it is, but it's just funny how we have these sensations that are coming through and these activations. I'm not the only one. Like I've had tons of people come forward and say, hey, I've had these weird feelings in my chest, or I've been feeling weird feelings on the top of my head. Some people have been feeling it in their root.
Yeah.
And so, and the other day we were like, I wonder what this is. And a friend of mine was like, can I ask one of the guides? And I said, sure, go ahead. And they said, oh, that's a heart chakra activation. Oh, you're having a Kundalini activation. And we're like, what? So many people are having activations right now. And it can almost seem like a psychic attack because the intensity of the vibration can be, you know, a little daunting for some.
Yeah.
Even for myself.
I had a new spirit guide introduce himself. I don't know if he's actually new, but new to me. I had him introduce himself to my daughter instead of me. Like she was doing some kind of automatic writing because she does that all the time. And she asked a question about one of our deceased animals. And he started answering her. And she said, who are you? Because I don't recognize you, because she normally talks to her dad. Right. And then he said, oh, I'm Gavith. His name's Gavith. And then he said, I'm one of your mom's guides. And she said, well, why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me instead of my mom? And he said, well, she won't listen, you know? And so,
oh no.
Yeah. So he sent all these messages through her. And then finally he came to me and talked very clearly to me. And I went, okay, like, that's cool. And then I was like, what are you here to help me with? And he's like, oh, I'm teaching you about reality and creation. And I was like, okay, cool. I like that. You know, so that's what I'm learning right now. So, but yeah, I doubt everything unless someone tells me as well. And I think I mean, this isn't directly where it comes from, but I know that me and you both share an 8 and a 1. Do you have a 1 and 8? Yeah. I think it's from that because it causes imposter syndrome.
That is something even my guides have commented on. They're like, yeah, you need to work on your imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Wow.
My guides have talked to me a lot about that. A lot. So I'm working on it too. All the time.
I was told that my imposter syndrome is linked to my witch wound that I'm also currently working to heal.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because we were doing our work. We were helping people. We were healers. We were herbalists and mentors and spiritual leaders, and we got burned for it.
Yeah.
And so many of us struggle to speak our truth, to stand out, to even practice certain esoteric arts because we're so concerned about how that will be, you know, responded to by everybody else around us.
Yeah. Well, and I grew up in a family where it was very open to be spiritual inside my family, but in my extended family, it was not. So like, it was always like a hush hush kind of thing. Like we were allowed to be spiritual at home, but we weren't allowed to tell anybody. And everybody knew, but it wasn't okay. It like wasn't acceptable. So I don't know. I mean, I think that gives you some weird shame too. You know,
closet witchcraft.
Yes. I've always felt like I was in the closet, but I've always been in the psychic spiritual world, you know, so it's very strange.
But and many of us are working through this right now because we've got so much I don't even want to call it a witch wound because it's more of like a persecution wound.
Yeah.
Because in the broader sense of it, there's many lifetimes where we've been persecuted, even just for being women. Just for being women, you've been persecuted. But then you also have the religions that have all of these, like the Catholic and Protestant thing, or you have all of the, like the Cathar thing that I'm working to heal right now. And there is so much that we have kind of suffered through on this planet, but we haven't really released it yet.
Yeah. Well, I recently started dating a musician, and I've never been in the music world at all. Like, I don't know anything about it. And they're not, at least his circle is not open spiritually, and it did not feel acceptable to be spiritual around them. So I didn't I was with them for about almost a week, and I just didn't bring it up that I was a numerologist, except a little bit. And here I thought I'd be giving numerology readings the whole time I was with them, but I didn't. And it made me kind of look at it again from the outside, which I haven't done in a long time, because everyone in my world just accepts me now.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, but it takes time to build up to that, doesn't it? You gotta.
It's wonderful, but I forgot that people don't accept it. And I forgot that it's like, I forgot it's so bad. Like, they really think that you're doing something bad.
We
not
feel,
everybody, but
like safe and secure in our little communities, don't we?
Yes.
As soon as we go and talk to a normal person, we're like, oh shit, okay, this is not normal for you. Good to know.
Well, I have to tell you though, I don't blame them, because I don't blame you for your conditioning. I do blame you for the way you treat me. Like, if someone treats me bad, I would blame them for that.
I fully blame
Not that anyone does.
Willful ignorance, in my opinion. Willful ignorance, right, is when it's one thing to be ignorant.
Yeah.
But for somebody to be like, hey, this thing that you're saying is not right. Can I educate you? And you're like, no, fuck you. I want to say the not right thing.
Yeah.
And they just want to perpetuate that. And instead, like, people have the internet. And I know there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, but there's still no real excuse for ignorance at this point, because there's so much knowledge available at your fingertips. Yes, you have to have discernment. But if you're spending all day, every day, just watching football and not doing anything to kind of educate yourself or to develop yourself in any sort of way, then it's going to end up kind of leaving you in the dust of other people who are moving forward.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like that. We're like, I don't want to be the same way I've been for so long. So let me change, let me evolve, let me adapt. And other people are like, no, I like the way I am. I'm going to stay this way forever.
I run into a lot of people that, like, when I look at their numbers, they are very spiritual, but they're not working on that in this lifetime. So even though it's undeniable that everything's changing and that clearly, there's an awakening happening, everyone knows that, even that isn't spiritual now, there are people that will still just pretend, because they stay in this comfort zone where they're not working on that. They don't care about it,
I read the room. I call it reading the room, where if I'm in a room full of muggles, I will keep my mouth shut.
Me too.
Anybody ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm a writer.
Yeah. Well, I say I'm a life coach, but then they think that's hokey. So then I say I'm a digital entrepreneur. They don't know what that is.
I can't even tell them I have a podcast, because they'll be like, what's the podcast about? And I'm like,
oh, just aliens and monsters and
reptilians, that sort of thing.
Reptilians, you know what those are, right? Yeah, they don't get it.
But you know what's funny? Like, I actually had this guy that came to work. He fixed my washer, and he came in and he's like talking to me, and I said, oh, I gotta run. I got a podcast in a few minutes. And he's like, oh, what's your podcast about? And I was like, when you have that moment of, should I or shouldn't I? And I was like, well, screw it. And I just told him what I do. And he's like, his eyes got big, hey? And when their eyes get big, you don't know what kind of response you're going to get.
That's big, either holy shit, and they put up a cross and run, or that's like big, like, ooh, I love that stuff.
He watches the podcast now. He's
awesome.
I saw his name a couple days ago. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
I love that.
But no, some people do get, they hear that and they're like, oh my God, that's terrifying. Like my neighbors, for example. I told them I was a hypnotist because I thought that was kind of the middle of the road. And they were like, do the people speak in tongues when you hypnotize them? I'm like, they haven't spoken to me since. Like, so, so I mean, people around the neighborhood, especially if you grow up in a Christian area, or in the Bible Belt, that sort of thing, you do have to be kind of careful with how you explain your interests and your spiritual, things, because people do take that very like a red flag sometimes. They treat it like, what do you mean you talk to aliens? How many times people tell me, oh, you can't possibly, aliens don't exist, it's only demons.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I should be committed, that's what my family said about me just about 2 years ago, by the way. They said I should be committed because I think that my spirit guides talk to me. Like, I think that because I'm crazy, and I'm like, I mean, they do talk to me. they talk to you.
They even talk to your family, but they're not listening.
They talk to everybody. Everybody has them, and everybody can listen. I just chose to. That's all.
Yeah.
But they don't understand.
And the more you talk to them, the stronger your connection gets, and the better your intuition and your connection to your spirit team gets. Therefore, sometimes your life gets better because you have better guidance.
Yeah, I was going to say that's how my life got a lot better.
So your life gets better, and they're like, you must be talking to demons, even though your life is getting better and improving, and everything seems so good for you, right?
Well, and like I couldn't even be more love and light, so I don't even know what that would be, So, but yeah. So anyway.
But it is interesting how some people are going through a spiritual awakening that you never really expected. My parents are staunch conservative types. And it was COVID that woke them up.
Oh, well, that
got their attention.
That's good.
And at first, it didn't happen fast enough because they did get some of the jabs at first. But then after a while, they just started. I mean, you couldn't avoid the bullshit. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
People start to see it. They start to ask questions, and they start to do research. That's when their curiosity gets piqued.
Yeah.
So they start looking into things. And then, my mom dealt with a couple psychic attacks. From both demonics and reptilians. And it was funny. I wasn't the one that did the clearing on her when she had the really bad attack. And they said to her, like, what is the vulnerability? Why is she under attack right now? And they said, oh, she has a very high profile daughter who's doing work. And unfortunately, this means that you're going to be basically, they're going to have their attention on you too, to mess with her.
Yeah.
And when my mom heard that, she was a bit like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like having I consider myself to be kind of like an astral prosecutor in a way. So we're like the beastie mob, and if you're not careful, they will start to kind of go and harass other people around you. So I told my mom, I'm like, if you really want to be safe, if you really want to have an understanding of what's happening, you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to learn this. You're going to have to learn that. And it took about a year of sitting her down and explaining things to her. My mom is just as clued up. I could talk to her about absolutely anything now in regards
to good. That's amazing. Yeah.
It took a year of educating her and for her to have these experiences and to sense what it feels like to have a psychic attack, to be under the influence of something you can't even see, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it was funny. This one time I called her after I did a clearing. She texted me and was like, can you check me? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I called her like maybe 15 minutes later, and she was laughing when she answered the phone. And I said, what's so funny? And she goes, I knew you were about to call me. And I said, how did you know? And she goes, I could feel the darkness leave.
Wow.
As you were doing the clearing, I could literally feel this dark heaviness leaving my body. Wow. And it felt so good that I knew immediately what had happened. I knew immediately that you had cleared me and that you had removed it. And that's why I was laughing. And sure enough, my phone rang.
Wow. That's crazy.
When you get used to it, even if you're somebody who has all the blinders on, you know what I mean? And they're completely blindfolded. They don't believe in any of this stuff. It's amazing how people can make huge leaps forward in understanding and consciousness just by making the choice of, I don't want to be ignorant anymore. I want to learn this. I need to know this. My mind is open.
Well, I think they can't ignore the coincidences. Like they can't keep calling them coincidences, like they can't keep saying, "Oh, that just happened because," because it just keeps happening and happening. And you're like, clearly something's working with me,
Exactly.
clearly something's on my side helping me get through life. Yeah. And then the opposite too, I do think the pandemic was really what did it for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like that was the first time because I'm an 80s kid, like I mean, I was born in the 70s, but I grew up in the 80s. I never saw the government care about us until then. And that was strikingly different to me. And that freaked me out. And I went, wait a second. The government wants me, like it was like the president was knocking on doors or something, or that's what it seemed like. I don't know if he really was, but that's what it seemed like. And I was
Offering
like,
people a year's worth of free donuts. That should have been like,
yeah,
this jab, and we'll give you a year's worth of free donuts. That
yeah,
should have
that's
raised
weird.
every red flag and every head in the country. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I
They were even
just
letting
thought it
people
was
out of
so
jail
weird
early. Did
because
you
they
hear that?
never cared. Oh
They were
yeah.
even letting people out of jail early if they were willing to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah, I know someone that got out of jail early because of it. Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah,
once you're really
crazy.
paying attention, you can kind of see the desperation.
It was weird. It was just weird because like when I did test positive for COVID the one time, it was like at some government van thing because I was flying a lot then, and they sent me an email saying someone's going to contact you within the next 2 weeks to check up on you and see if you're okay. And I was like, what? Like what? The government cares about me all of a sudden? What? Like that doesn't make sense.
That honestly
So,
would make me very nervous.
yeah, they never did follow up, by the way, but they did like say that. So it was really
government
weird.
that's behind 9/11. No, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been interesting. It's been an
And it's going to
interesting
get
ride.
more interesting. I can feel the shift is intensifying. And I said
Oh
something
yeah.
to my guides the other day, and I was like, this is not how I expected the shift to go.
No.
And one of the guys was like, I don't think any of us expected it to go exactly this way. Like, not even the guides know.
I want to know why time is speeding up. Like, I feel like it's like speeding up so that it's blurring it for us because it's so
Remember, the time
dramatic.
doesn't exist.
That's true.
There's an illusion of time. We think that time passes because it gets dark out, then it gets light out again, then it gets dark out, then it gets light out again. We have seasons.
Yeah.
Seasons change things, but time technically doesn't exist. And even if you ask the soul guides, like, why do we age then if time doesn't exist? Well, because we have all agreed upon the fact that we are supposed to age within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It is belief that makes us age.
Yeah.
And it's there's many races that exist that don't age the way that we do. Because they don't believe that they're supposed to.
I've always had a weird relationship with time where like I don't believe in time. I've always believed I can manipulate time. I can move it and shift it and stop it and do all those things.
Yes, but that's different.
But lately it's like I have not had that kind of power that I normally have. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe
I have noticed that before where I'm like in a rush and I ask the clock to like slow down a little bit and then I still make it in time and I'm like, I have no idea how I managed that.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Well, I started doing that on purpose. Like I started moving time and slowing time, and I did start doing that a long time ago, actually.
You know what's funny too, and I've noticed this with the podcast, is I'm late every single day.
Oh, really? Well,
every single podcast, because I'm not. I'm never. This podcast never ever starts at exactly 10 a.m. I could be getting ready at 9 o'clock and have a whole hour to get ready, and I'll still be a few minutes behind. I don't know how it happens. It just does.
Maybe you're not meant to be here until a few minutes late. You know,
it is very strange though that these things happen. So I just say, time doesn't exist. It's fine.
That's right. Time doesn't exist.
It's like what Gandalf said: a wizard arrives precisely when they mean to.
That's right.
It's never late nor early.
Oh, my boyfriend's on here.
I see that.
You're dating a drummer. Time exists. He's always talking about how good he is at timing. I'm like, oh God, time.
You think you're out of time, Jason.
He keeps time, not me.
I love the photos of you two, by the way. It looks like you guys have been having such an amazing time.
Oh my goodness, we are having the best life together. Do you know where we're going today? Like, holy shit.
Where are you going today?
So he is taking me. So my favorite band is Lumineers. He's already taken
I
me
love
to
Lumineers.
Yes. So he's already taken me to Lumineers once. Now he's taking me again, and he just got us backstage passes yesterday. So yeah. So I am like going to meet the Lumineers today.
Oh my God, look at you.
I am dying right now. I'm making this whole like, let me show you what I've been making. Okay, so this is my letter that I have to handwrite to Wesley, the lead singer. Okay, this is what numerology is that I have to handwrite. These are the free readings I'm giving him and his band. I have to put them out. And then this is a video from a couple of years ago when I went to his concert and he walked right up to me in the audience. So I'm like, this is what I was working on last night.
I'm so happy for you. No wonder you're glowing today.
I am so incredibly over the moon. It's ridiculous. I went on the tour bus with him for 3 shows. We went all over the place and I met all these rock star people. Everywhere I go, I meet like all these amazing people now. Holy crap. Like, I never even thought I would like do anything in this world. So it's very weird to me.
The universe has tons of surprises, doesn't it? Lots of good stuff in store.
Yeah. So I've been having the time of my life and I haven't gotten enough work done lately, but I have had a lot of fun lately.
You're getting your vibration up. Remember that. All the joy and all the excitement that gets your vibration into a higher,
the higher frequency. I am absolutely in the higher frequency right now. So it's good. That's how I want to be. That's how I want to stay. So
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm having all the fun. It's really good.
So I'm just curious now, when you are seeing somebody new, do you go through their chart and be like, okay, I'm comparing charts, like completely?
Oh yeah, I did.
How accurate is it?
Well, first of all, this guy asked me out. This guy tried to date me for 5 years relentlessly. So and then he finally just resorted to asking me out every single day for like 3 months until I said yes, and that's how he finally got me.
Love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely did his chart. But when I decided to be his girlfriend, I did not say I would be his girlfriend until I took his numbers into my class and I had all my students do his chart. And that is actually how I decided to be his girlfriend.
How hilarious is that? You have to have your students basically do like a numerology background check on it.
Yeah, the background check. I mean, I've always been the background check for everybody. So like now I have my numerologists that are the background check for me because I'm like, well, what if I'm just putting on blinders? What if I think he's a good guy, but he's not, And they were like, no, he's a good guy. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll give this guy a chance finally. But yeah, we're very happy. And
I get nervous too when I meet somebody new. I'm like, now, especially because I have like access to the Akashic records.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I know them before? That's my first question. What kind of relationship is this? Is this karmic or is it companionship or is it blah, blah, blah? Like, as soon as I hear karmic, I'm like,
well, you are going to have a lot of karmic relationships because you are dealing with every
relationship in my life has been a karmic relationship. Every single I have not. It's funny. I was talking with a friend last night, and he's a friend of mine that we've been friends for about 25 years now. And he and I made a joke many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago, that if we both were unmarried at 50, we would get married.
Oh yeah, I had a friend like that too.
He's British as well, so I'm like, all right, well, this is good because then I can get a green card, like that. I was joking with him about that. And last night I just tuned in to check him really quick, and I'm like, I just want to know, like, is he sovereign? And we check him and everything. And I said to my guide, I was like, how do I know him? And they're like, you had a past life together. I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
how did that go? Like, I need to know. Like, and they said, no, this is a companion. This is somebody that you knew in a past life. It's not a karmic thing. You're just really good friends in a past life, and now you're really good friends in this life. And I was like, what a relief to hear that.
What a relief that I didn't kill him and he didn't kill me, right? Like, isn't that normally how it works?
100%, because I was expecting that completely.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want a numerology background check on anyone, you just tell me and I will do it. I do it all the time for my friends. I really do. I have a friend that will not date anyone until he gets their numbers and gives them to me. And then I tell him, I'm like, well, you could date this person, but this is how it's going to go. And he's like, really? I don't see that. And I'm like, okay. And then 2 months later, he'll call me. He'll go, everything you said came true, like every single thing. He's like, and I hate you for that, by the way. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I can tell if someone's gonna cheat on you. I can tell if someone's gonna be a liar or have a double life. I can see that, like, I'm sorry, but I can. So, but yeah.
See, now you're gonna get a lot of bookings. Now everybody's gonna be like, I need to know.
Well, guys, just come and become numerologists. It's way easier if you can do it yourself.
I'm pretty sure I was doing this as like a teenager, because like you'd be like comparing the names and the date of birth and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember doing that. I think I was like 13 years old doing that.
Well, I was lucky to have a numerologist for a mom. So I was actually doing this. Like, I was having her do it. She was my background check back then. She did all of my friends when we were teenagers. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So, how, just out of curiosity, like, if you see something like that, do people generally take the advice, or do they say, let me just see how this is going to go?
No, they do not take the advice.
I didn't think so.
And I don't want them to either. Like, I really don't want to give people advice that changes their life unless they want their life to be changed, So I actually was on a call 2 or 3 days ago with a girl who might be on here, actually. I'm not sure if I saw her or not. I said, I don't like to tell people what to do, but please fucking run. Like, do not continue this relationship. This is not going to have a good outcome. And I didn't even have to look at his numbers for that. But I could feel it in her energy field, actually, when she was talking to me. I was like, this guy is not good for you. You're going to have regret. Don't do this. Yeah, it is karmic. Yeah.
And it's crazy. We were talking about this yesterday with Carolyn, because we'll see this in the reports. We'll be like, is there a triggered past life resonance? And they'll be like, yeah, she was very badly abused by an ex-husband in a past life. And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll be like, just out of curiosity, this isn't the same husband, the one that she's just written here in the description that she's always fighting with him and they never get along and all this. This isn't the same husband, is it? And they're like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh no. So,
I have an ex, okay, and this is public knowledge because I finally shared my whole story, recently. So I had an ex that tried to murder me over and over, actually. He had a murder plot and everything. Oh my goodness. And for some reason, while I was with him, like, I have 2 children with him, okay? And while I was with him, I could not hate him, and I didn't understand why. I would look at him and I didn't like him and I didn't want to be around him anymore, but I couldn't hate him. And I always went, why can't I hate you? I don't understand. And then it seemed like he had this like fixation on taking me out of this world, And I have seen so many of my past lives now because I've done a lot of hypnosis. Like, I've done a lot of QHHT, I've done aura paintings, I've done all kinds of readings and stuff. I've been murdered in a lot of lives, but like, one of the common things is that a man murders me, like, and I just wonder if it's the same man. And that's why he always feels like he has to take me out of this world, because maybe we're in some kind of karmic loop or something. Like, that's what it feels like. Maybe I killed him in one.
I was going to say, maybe it was some tit for tat for a little bit, because that does usually happen. If somebody kills you, you're like, screw you, and you kill them.
He seemed vengeful, like I did something to him. And even my lawyer, after we had fought custody for 6.5 years, and my lawyer quit at one point, and he said, I don't know why this man hates you. I really can't understand, but he is never going to stop, and I can't keep watching it. And I was like, I know, right? I agree. Like, I don't know why either, because we never had a reason for him to hate me on the level that he does, you know? I'm not saying I'm perfect.
At least
I'm
not
just
in
saying,
this
like,
lifetime, anyway. There could be many other lifetimes, but it could literally just be a fixation that some people have on the same person over and over and over again in multiple lifetimes.
And like, maybe it's like some kind of like imprint that you just like come with and it still stays or something, like in your DNA. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but yeah.
The crazy thing is, right, and this is something that blew my mind when I was studying Dolores Cannon's work in QHHT, was that how you repay a murder. Because a lot of times people think, well, it's eye for an eye. I kill you, you kill me, and then we're even. No, it doesn't work that way. In fact, that's what creates more of a cycle. Because you guys are constantly repeating the same thing, where I kill you, you kill me, I kill you, you kill me. And that could happen for 20 lifetimes in a row. But then eventually, in the in-between, the souls are like, all right, I tell you what, like, let's work this out now. We don't want to do this anymore. We're not going to keep killing each other and keep ruining each other's lives. So how about this? I will be the husband. You will be the wife. We'll come together. We'll have a relationship. And if we can find a way to get along and forgive each other and to work everything out, then great. We've done it. We've succeeded in breaking the karmic cycle.
Oh, wow.
But then they incarnate together. They meet each other. And then all of that baggage from the past, all of the intensity, the anger, the emotions come together. And then the cycle ends up getting repeated again, and then the husband murders the wife or whatever it is, and then their cycle keeps repeating. And then they keep coming back, though. They'll keep coming back as partners. Well, they'll switch roles. I'll be husband, you be wife. It could take 50 lifetimes to pick one murder karmically.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that might be true. Like, I don't know how it works exactly, but it does seem like that. My ex who died, my twin flame, he kept coming through saying, I want you to find love again. I want you to find love again. I'm sending someone, even. Like, he would say that through all these different mediums and everything. And there was this one time that he came through, and this medium said, she said, your ex is here and he wants to talk to you. Is that okay? And I said, yeah, of course, And then she said, he wants to talk to you about love. And I said, oh, I know. And I rolled my eyes. I was like, he says the same thing every time. And she started crying and she said, do you know why he's saying this to you? And I said, no, I don't know why he's saying this. I just assume that he's trying to say he loves me and he wants me to have love in this lifetime, even though he left, And she said, no, he's trying to tell you that he wants you to learn how to love finally, so that you will never treat him the way you did in this lifetime again. And I was like, what? I was like, holy shit. Because I was very mean to him, like, he was very in love with me all of his life. And I just pushed him out like all the time. Even though I did love him, I just wouldn't admit it to him. Like I did in the beginning, and then we became friends, and he would always profess his love, and I would always go, oh God, that's ridiculous, and I always pushed him away, and he spent his whole life pining after me until he died. And I just didn't understand why. I just thought he just wanted me to move on and be happy, but no, that's not what he wanted. So I really think that the solution to everything is love. Like, not only to, learn how to, let yourself be loved, but how to love other people and how to love everything around you. I really think that's the actual goal here,
Yeah.
Because truthfully, you don't take anything else with you. That is the only thing that you actually take with you when you leave, is the love in your heart. So you better collect a lot of it, and you better collect it in every single direction that you can,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It does make you wonder why, because I have actually found somebody with a past life resonance of a broken heart from unrequited love.
Yeah.
And unrequited love is something that is very painful for a lot of different people.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder why, because you can't really control your feelings. How you feel for a certain person, I think is rooted in things that are beyond our comprehension and understanding.
Yeah.
Like how you feel for somebody, especially if it's somebody you just met,
Yeah.
usually that feeling that you're holding is traversing many different incarnations and lifetimes. I mean, you're feeling things. They call it love at first sight, but that is not your first sight.
No,
You've met
there's
that
no
person many different incarnations before, or in the in between, and made this plan. You recognize their energy, their spirit, but that wasn't like an instantaneous accidental meeting. That was a plan, and your soul recognized their soul. So it makes you wonder why one soul would choose to have this really intense emotion that they're working on, and then the other soul, who this is, basically based on, would be like, no, not really feeling that. Sorry, love you like a friend, but it doesn't, then it makes you wonder why that happens between two souls. Is it like a vibrational mismatch, or maybe it's just wrong place, wrong time? I don't know.
I believe that it's one of them have woken up more than the other. So like for us, it was like he was always aware of who we were. I wasn't. Like he would look at me and he would say, "Don't you understand? We're supposed to be together." And he said that to me so much that I will never forget it, And we met when I was 16. So he said that to me for years.
Yeah, but at that age too, like that age, you're so young. It's so hard.
I didn't know who I was, let alone who I want to be with or what I want to do. And then we had a baby early, and it was just like, I didn't know what to do with any of that, so I just shut it down, because for me, it was easier to push it away and keep moving on, like just keep moving, than to stop and process and think about it. I also had a lot of trauma in my life before that. So I was already closed down, but he had trauma too, but he took his and he flipped it. All he wanted was love. For me, that's all I didn't want. Like I didn't want anyone near me. And that's what I've struggled with my whole life, actually, is I don't let people in, like I have the hardest time letting people in, So
keep in mind though that especially when you end up getting kind of roped into these things at a young age, that you end up missing a lot of opportunities as a woman.
Yeah.
I don't think, no offense to the men, but I don't think that they have an understanding of what it's like to be in that situation at such an early age, and to have, because I had somebody propose to me at 17.
Oh yeah, me
and
too.
When I said no,
at 17.
At 17, that was the first time I was proposed to. I wasn't even an adult, and I had somebody wanting to marry me.
Yeah.
And he was 10 years older than me. And instead of me being like, oh, maybe I'm too young, maybe I'm too immature, I was like, no, I'm getting emancipated. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And it's funny how we end up kind of pushing ourselves into that, because we don't want to miss out on an opportunity, because we think, oh, well, this guy is Mr. Right. This is the perfect time and place for this.
Yeah. This is never going to happen.
Back of your mind is like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's true.
My life didn't begin until I was in my 30s.
Oh, I agree. When I turned 30, I remember the day I turned 30, I remember laying in bed that day and going, like taking an evaluation of my life, like an inventory of my life.
Yeah.
And I realized I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I didn't know anything yet. And I always thought that 30 was so old. So it hit me hard when I turned 30. When I turned 30, I woke up in a house where I was engaged to a heroin addict. I had just found out that he was a heroin addict, maybe like 2 weeks before that or something. And I was trying to get him help. And I remember waking up that day thinking, like, what am I doing with my life? And I ended up leaving him by the end of that month, because I was like, this can't be my life. Like, this is ridiculous.
I've never met somebody that regrets their divorce. I'm just saying. Like, I've never. I don't know anybody that was like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot that's going on, I think, in the collective in regards to healing in relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And women standing in their power, because if you think about it, women weren't even allowed to get divorced until like what, the 60s?
I don't know.
It was, I think, 1959, I think, was the first like legal divorce in this country. It was crazy.
Well, I heard some crazy statistics, and I don't even know if they're true, but it said that women weren't even allowed to buy a house by themselves in the
Nope,
80s. Is
not
that
until
true?
1912.
No, they were saying in the 80s, like in now, like they weren't allowed to buy a house by themselves. I don't know if that's true. It was like some kind of meme that I saw, but um that messed me right up. And then it said something about
Oh, in
going
the
to
US. Yeah.
yeah. That's not cool. That is not cool at all, you know. uh,
Wow, that's crazy.
that is crazy. Really messes with your head. And it also shows you how much we've advanced in such a short amount of time, you know.
And
Because
why there's so many new dynamics that are coming forward in regard to
yeah,
relationships and equality and all these other things that are
yeah,
happening. And I do feel like it being a 9 year, a lot of that is also culminating right now. Like there's a
yeah.
lot of that coming to a head as we speak.
Yeah. Well, I think I talked about that last time, but this year is a really important decision year. And this year, so like I didn't know this until the guides started telling me it right before we entered this year. They started telling me, well, I felt the decision in the air. I just didn't know what it meant. And they were like, you're going to make a big decision this year, and you're going to have to decide who you want to be and what you want to be and how you want to be known for and remembered by, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? Because we made a big decision at the beginning of this decade. And I always thought we make a decision at the beginning of every decade. Well, we do, but we also make another 10-year decision in the middle of the decade that's actually more important. So the one that we made in the beginning of the pandemic, like in 2020, before the pandemic happened, the decision that you were asked to make that year was, where do you want to be? What do you want to have? Who do you want to have beside you? Okay. That's why your stability went out from under you. Okay. But now in 2025, now we're in a 9 year, which when you're anytime you're at a 9, you're about to end something and begin something new, because you're going to go over to a 0 again. So you're always asked something. Well, I didn't even look at it like a 9 year. I was looking at it as the 2 and the 5, which would be relationships and family.
Yeah.
But I didn't look at it that way. And then they said, no, this is a bigger decision, because this decision in the middle of the decade, which happens every decade, by the way, this decision is, who do you want to be? How do you want to be known? How do you want to be perceived? There's no right or wrong answer. And that's what the guides always tell me. They're like, there is no good and bad. There is no right and wrong. You can be a shitty person. That's fine. You just have to be in alignment with that. You just have to decide that that's who you want to be. And then you have to walk that and deal with the consequences of it,
Yes.
And same with being good. You have to walk that and deal with the consequences of that, because both of them are hard choices. Um, so the question right now that you're going to answer, every single person is going to answer by the end of this year, is, who are you going to walk into this next 10 years as? Who are you going to be, and how do you want to be known, and how are people going to perceive you? And if you're not doing that consciously, you really should be, because it matters. It matters a lot, because otherwise you're just going to drift for 10 years again, which happens a lot with us. So that's what you should know, is every decade, every single time it comes to be a new decade, so 2030 will be the next one, you're going to have to decide where you want to be, what you want to have, who you want by your side. It's all the physical parts of your life, like the physical surroundings of your life. And then halfway through that decade, you're going to decide, now, who am I? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be known as? And that's what you have to make that decision every 10 years. You don't have a choice. So you have those 2 10-year periods. There could be more, but those are the ones that I've been taught so far by my guides.
Yeah.
And this 9 year, it's a hard one. It's a really hard one, because at least for me, I don't know if it's been like this for everyone. I know it's been like this for a lot of people around me. I am losing people left and right. Like, I've had a lot of death. I've had a lot of betrayal.
Same, a lot of death in my around it.
I've had people moving away. Like, I've had my path has cleared so much. Like, it went from like all these people I thought loved me and all these people I thought like were with me and believed in me and all this stuff, to like a whole bunch of people turning on me, and then also my best people dying, you know. And I'm just
Very
like,
sorry to hear that, Tami.
yeah, it's been a really hard year. But now look, I'm entering into a new phase that's beautiful and amazing. And I've been on a nonstop adventure for the last month or two, you know. So hopefully that continues now.
You're not alone in this. So many people are leaving right now. So many souls are like, nope, I gotta go. Sorry, I can't be here anymore. And it's devastating to see them leave. But it's even more painful to see people that you've had around for a very long time turn on you and betray you, and to be I mean, I've had a little bit of that where just by being honest, not exactly staying in my lane like I should have, but being honest is what got some really awful stuff to go on in the last couple weeks, which created a whole bunch. So now I've realized, like, even if you're being honest, it's better to just kind of stay in your lane and mind your own business right now, because people are super easy to trigger. People are having a huge emotional reaction to all kinds of stuff that I don't even understand. Like I try to hold space, but at the same time, people are going through so much that you can't even really quantify it and explain it to people right now, because it's so overwhelming. So I have a lot of people who are coming to me and they're writing me like 10 pages of stuff just for their clearing.
That's crazy.
Like, just so you understand what's going on in my life right now. And there's like 10 pages of stuff. Thank you to Charisse for helping me stay organized with all of this. But with the collective right now, there's just so much heaviness and so much baggage that's being released, and so many breakups. And
again, though, that's a 9-year. So like that is supposed to happen, because if all the things that aren't right for you moving forward go with you, you're going to stay stuck. So this is what my guides said to me, okay? Because I actually got to a point where I was contemplating suicide a few months ago, because we had just lost someone to suicide, and I just had like this series of events, and also I lost my dad last year. And so like it was just kind of like a whole bunch of really hard things. And my guides, you know, first of all, were kind of laughing at me. They're like, "You're not going to do this. That's ridiculous. Get your head back," you know. But then they were like, "Listen, you know, you say you want all these things. You say that you want the success that you're aiming for, and you work so hard and you're trying to get to this place. Well, none of these people support that, and you don't see that. But like, we know that. And so these people have to move, or you can't keep
they're
going.
like the crabs in the bucket trying to pull you back in as you're crawling out. They don't want to change, but they don't want to see you change either.
That's right. And that's, you know, I just kept going, but why my closest people? Like, why are they the ones turning on me? They're the ones I thought loved me the most. And I mean, like, just to give you an example, my best friend's not my friend anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
she
that.
lived with me for the last year, and she's not even my friend anymore. And she's been my best friend since we were 14, you know? But there's a bunch of them. It's not just her, you know? And
I also lost a friend recently, and it's very painful. It's the longer you know them, the more you feel like you've lost something. But at the same time, you have to remember, these things come, they come to a culmination point for a reason. Because there's something in the past that is there that needs to be healed. And sometimes to heal it completely means to have to go separate ways.
Well, and the guide said, you know, all these people have to move, or you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to keep spinning your wheels, and you're going to keep feeling like you don't know why, because you're being sabotaged and you don't even know it. Like, you don't even realize it, because even the people doing it, they don't always realize it. Like, it's a weird, you know, energetic sabotage sometimes too, you know.
You don't realize when you ask your soul guides, please remove everything from my life that's holding me back. And the next thing you know, all your friends are gone, and you're like, shit.
Oh yeah. And then you're like, wait a second.
That's not what
I meant remove all the bills, remove all the, you know, car problems, remove the house breaking down, you know. But no, they're like, yeah, all these people suck. All these people So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to, look at the people you weren't looking at. And that's actually how I ended up with my boyfriend, because I had lost all the people I did trust. And I went, wait a second, what if I have been pushing out people that are amazing and only letting in people that don't even like me? And I finally, like, that's,
or the people who are using you.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of that too, where people who are people pleasers or just want to be loved. We have a lot of people that come into our lives that are kind of like, hey, she's a good resource to have around. Thanks.
Yes. Well, I mean, look at your life. Like, you're a good connection for people, and I'm a good connection for people. Like, we seem to know everybody, and so people might look at that from the outside and be like, well, I could gain something, and that's fine as long as it's mutual. But a lot
I had
of
a best friend that I
people
invited to
do.
work with me. It's a long story. I didn't really talk about it much because it hurt too much.
Mhm.
But she was taking advantage of me completely to the point where I was paying her hundreds of dollars for pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
And then when we had an argument about it and I set a boundary where there wasn't a boundary before, because you have to set limits as a giver, because takers do not set limits.
That's right.
And eventually you realize, okay, I've given way too much of myself. I need to reassess things. I need to set a strong boundary. And when I tried to do that, this friend, I mean, it exploded in my face, the whole thing. That friend had never had a boundary with me before, had never seen me tell them no. And to hear a no made a huge argument. And instead of them getting their way, which is what they wanted through that argument, I said no, and I walked away.
Yeah.
And it hurt to do that, because it would have been easier for me to be like, okay, fine, you win, whatever. Just makes you happy. Here's the thing you want that you're going to literally badger me about until I give it to you.
This is the thing, though. Would that be easier? Because that's what you've done before. Like, all your life, you've gone, oh, just have what you need because I don't need it. Or just, get your way because I don't need to get my way, or whatever. But internally, you're dying, like, you're literally dying. And you can't keep sacrificing like that. You get to a point where you cannot do that anymore. And if people don't understand that, that's okay. They don't need to be part of your life. Like, people that can't understand your boundaries and that you should have them, and that, people should want you to have boundaries. They should want you to be healthy. They should want you to thrive, So if they don't, that's on them. That is just on them.
This is a very cathartic conversation, because I needed this, Tami. I really did. We hold these things so close to our heart, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, when something didn't work out and you try so hard to fix it and it still isn't fixable, and you have to walk away from somebody that you genuinely care about, it sucks. It really is painful. And I haven't really had a chance to release it because I've been disappointed by so much. It's just it's a major disappointment. And the other day I had a triggered past life resonance where there was a dagger in my shoulder, and the guides pulled it out again. And I said, well, how did that get there? And they said, there was a past life where you were stabbed in the shoulder. Wow. And I said, how did that happen? And they said, it was one of your best friends killed you over a debt that they owed you. And they didn't want to pay you back. And they killed you to not have to pay back the debt. And they said, every time you have experienced a betrayal from a similar betrayal in this lifetime, you can feel the pain literally in your shoulder. And the other day, as I was arguing with this person, I felt the pain in my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And it wasn't until I asked my guides that they told me what that pain was. They said, every time you feel a deep betrayal from a friend, you're going to feel pain in your right shoulder. Yeah. And I was like, holy crap, this makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom has she has this big birthmark, like it's a perfect circle almost, like right in the center of her chest, and she has almost exactly the same thing on her back in the same place. And we've always said she either got, shot or hit with a bow and arrow or something, and it must have went right through her chest. And she's dealt with her whole life a lot of betrayal, like a lot of just people turning on her and things like that. I think that's really common. And I think that that's why we come in the way that we do. Like, you came in with a lot of people pleasing energy, and so did I share those numbers with you. Not only do you not recognize red flags, but you also will bend over backwards for anybody that asks you, even when they're not asking anymore. Like, you will just keep giving and giving and
This is
giving.
something I work on a daily basis.
Well, you're lucky because you have a very strong conflict in your chart where you have that really strong people pleasing energy, but then you also have this number that says, I have boundaries that I can make. What your problem ends up being is that you allow the guilt to overcome you, and
Yes, spot
you
on.
you always put yourself
Guilt
in
trips work on me so well. They really do.
They do.
My mom knows this.
One, because you are in an area where there is extreme guilt. I mean, oh my goodness, I say my mom's second language is guilt,
Yeah,
and
seriously.
my mom lives about an hour from you. But there's also an energy in the air there. There really is, and I know it every time I go home. But the thing is that what you do is you are really, really, because you're a humanitarian, you are really good at putting yourself in other people's shoes. So you always see the world through other people's eyes, and you go, well, I don't want to suffer, so I don't want you to suffer. So if I can ease that suffering, please take everything that I have. Take my blood if you have to, because
I donate blood all the time. So it's hilarious you even say that. I was planning on donating next week, actually. So that's absolutely hilarious, Tami.
Yeah.
Nikki's spot on accurate.
Yeah. But you have to stop that shit. So knock it off.
I have a rare blood type, okay? But technically, though, yes, everything else that I do give is, I give the shirt off my back for people all the time.
Yes.
I've always done that.
It's wonderful and beautiful that you're that person, but it's also
I used to think so.
Well, I mean, I had somebody really set me straight on that because I have the same energy as you. She said, so I came to class, I was paying thousands of dollars to be in this really high level program. Okay. And I came to 2 classes where I didn't talk the whole time. There were only like 5 of us in the class. And she asked me if I would talk. And I said, no, I don't want to talk about anything. She said, Tami, you're paying me a lot of money to be here. You need to talk. And I don't care what it is, but you need to talk about it. And I said, well, everybody depends on me for everything. I'm always the only support in the house. I'm the only income. My dad just moved back in with me. And I was just like, I can't keep supporting the whole world. I can't handle it. And she said, well, what's so special about you? And I was like, what? And she's very blunt and she gets right to the point. And I said, well, I'm not saying there's anything special about me. I'm just saying they won't do it themselves. They need me to do it or they can't. And she said, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So if you die tomorrow, they all have to die too because they can't live if you don't take care of them. And I was like, well, no. And then she goes, well, what would happen if they died tomorrow? And I said, what would happen if you died tomorrow? And I said, I don't know. I guess they would figure it out. And she said, oh, but they can't because you're the only one that can take care of them. You're the only one. You don't you know that you're the only one? You just said that. And I was like, no. And she goes, well, what would they do? And I said, I don't know, but they would figure it out. And she said, oh, so they don't need you. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she I was pissed at her when she did this, by the way. Like, I left that call very angry. But I did kick my dad out pretty shortly after that, within a few months, And what I realized is that I take care of me and you take care of you. And that is as far as our responsibility goes. We are responsible for us and we are not responsible for anyone else. And actually taking care of other people is taking away their ability to take care of themselves.
It's also taking away their ability to learn from the experience too, because like, think about it this way, right? Like, let's say you have a sibling that's constantly getting themselves in trouble and you're always bailing them out.
Yes.
you know, and then eventually they don't learn the lesson because you're constantly bailing them out of the consequences. So what
Yeah.
happens? They do something even worse that creates
Yes.
even bigger consequences
Yes.
because you robbed them of the ability for them to heal and to learn
Yes.
at an earlier time. So I mean, this happens quite a lot where people
Yeah.
are basically enabled out of an experience because they're
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Yes. My aunts used to tell me, so I took my dad in so that he wouldn't be homeless because he would always choose homelessness over anything after my mom left him. And so I took him in when I had my first apartment, and I took care of him up until 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
off and on most of my life. He's lived with me in every house I've lived in, and my aunts used to say, you're enabling him to never figure it out. You're enabling him. And I would be like, fuck you. He's gonna be homeless and die on the streets if I don't take care of him. And they would say that, he's never gonna figure it out, but they wouldn't say it the way that I would hear it. And so he did die. He was homeless when he died. He died a year ago, almost exactly, like in a month. It would be a year. Okay. And when after he died, I talked to my daughters about it, and I said, do you think that if I wouldn't have helped him, he would have eventually figured it out? And they said, no, he would have just leaned on everybody else. And I said, but he burned all his bridges. I was like the last one forever, like for so long. And they said, Mom, they're like, don't feel that guilt. But the truth is, I really do wonder, if everyone would have just stopped, would he have figured it out? Like, would he have saved himself if he had to? Because he was a survivor.
Some
And
people are
so,
just not. Society itself,
yeah.
the way that it's designed, some people just don't fit into it.
And that was him. He didn't. He was,
Like the
yeah,
way it's so strict and so like you have to do
yeah,
this to this to this to this
yeah,
to this to keep a roof over your head and to keep up with
yeah,
all the bullshit. Some people just they struggle with that because it's
yeah.
not the life that they want nor the life that they're ready for.
Well, and that's the thing. All he ever wanted was to live in the woods. That's all he ever wanted from being a small boy. He just wanted people to leave him alone. And he was genius level intelligent. He invented things that we could be billionaires over. But he would never attach his name to anything. And he didn't want that. He didn't want to
Yeah.
live in society. And but my takeaway from that is, like, I will never fucking do that again. Like, I will never take away your right to save yourself. I will never do that again. And that's what my coach said to me that day. She said, if you would have come along 2 years ago and saw me struggling, your kind heart would have said, let me save you. Let me pull you out of that. Let me give you whatever you need. And you know what? I wouldn't be a multimillionaire right now because I wouldn't have had to figure it out. And look at me now. And I said, you're right. I mean, I would have done that. And she said, well, I would have hated you for that because you would have taken away my ability to do it myself and to figure it out. And I was like,
Discernment is really important.
Yeah.
Because there are lessons in learning the hard way, but sometimes people do need a leg up. Sometimes they do have everything going against them. So you have to really discern whether or not they're ready to help themselves. And if they're not, then sometimes you have to let them wallow in it because they don't want to change.
So do you know where it stops, though? See, that's where me and you struggle because we're people pleasers, okay?
Exactly.
Where it stops is like they ask for help and you give it to them. And then they ask for help a second time and you give it to them. And then they stop asking and you're still giving. That's where it stops. When they start showing signs that they're going to try, that's when you stop. Or when they start showing signs that they're not willing to try. Both of those is where you stop. Because me and you are the type of people that keep giving and giving and giving until we're resentful that we're giving too much. And the person isn't even taking anymore. They're not even asking and we're giving it to them. They're still taking, but they're not even like begging for that anymore, and we keep giving, and that's where we're enabling. So if you can recognize how to help someone without destroying their possibilities by over helping them.
If I see genuine appreciation rather than expectation, I'm more inclined to keep giving. If I see somebody has an expectation that I'm just going to help them because I've done it before, then I'm like, no, you figure your own shit out. But if I see genuine, like, oh, thank God you helped me because I was so screwed, that I'm like, okay, phew, okay, I'm glad I helped.
That's different. But also, you know, if you think about it, like, why are you helping? Like, what are you getting out of that? And when you ask that question, sometimes you'll change if you want to help or not, you know? Also, you should be asking yourself the number one question, which you do have. This is your conflict in your chart. You do have the question of, am I okay first? And you should be asking that, even though your other numbers might override that in your chart because you have such a strong conflict. You should be asking, am I okay? Am I well rested? Am I financially secure? Are all my needs met first? And if all my needs are met first and I have extra and I think you deserve it, then I help. You know, that's how you actually do it, because then you're actually helping from the right place. You're not taking from anywhere. You're not taking to give, you know, because that is a societal belief that we're taught, like that there's not enough money in the world, there's not enough, you know, air to breathe, all the things, you know. The truth is there's enough abundance for everybody as long as you're not taking to give, you know, because abundance always keeps growing and growing and growing. So when you're doing it right, it expands, you know, and when you're doing it wrong, it contracts, you know. So that's really what you need to do. Like, I mean, me too, like, this is advice for me too. Like, whenever someone comes to me now, I really do say, look, no one gets to live with me anymore. Like, no one gets to live with me. I don't care if I have a spare room. That spare room will be for my cats if it has to be. Like, I don't give a shit.
That's a good, strong boundary to have there, Tami.
Yeah. The only time that someone will live with me again is if they join me as a partner. I am so done.
I've had so many roommates like that too. Yeah.
Yes. So, but that's the thing. That's now my boundary. And normally I would go, well, I have an empty space. Who wants it? You know, and I won't do that anymore. You know. So anyway,
setting those boundaries is something that we're all kind of learning right now, and especially financially. Like, there's a lot of people out there that give and give and give and give and give. Yes. And my friends know that they can count on me for stuff, but at the same time, I have had to get really, really strict with myself in regard. I had one friend message me one time and was like, "Hey, I'm in this really bad jam. I really need a flight home. I need to get home. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'm screwed if I don't take this flight home." And I was like, "How much do you need?" And he's like, $600. And I was like, "All right, you can pay me back." And he's like, "Okay." So I booked the flight for him because he said it was such an emergency and he had to get home. I checked in with him 2 days after he's supposed to be home. And I'm like, "Oh, everything okay?" And he goes, "Oh, I didn't end up using the flight."
Oh my God!
I ended up figuring out something else, and I had to do with Plan B and blah blah blah, and so I didn't end up using the flight, and he never paid me back the $600.
Well, that's a good lesson, huh?
That was one of the biggest lessons I had, and I don't give money out anymore like that as a loan. It's either a gift, and I'm straight up giving it to you, but I will never loan money again. I'm like, I won't, you know, I will give you a gift. I gave a friend a gift of $1,000 to save her mortgage not too long ago.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Well, I'll pay you back." I said, "No, it's a gift. Just, you know, use that money to get ahead and get back on your feet." Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something like that, you have to give it with the expectation of getting nothing back, because that is, why else would you give it? You're not doing it for the tit for tat for the IOU.
See, that's the thing. That means you're doing it for the right reasons because you've evaluated the reasons behind it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. We don't usually go into it that way. If we just go into it differently, it will have a different outcome. You know?
I don't do IOUs anymore for any reason.
Yeah. I don't do that a lot either.
No, yeah. You have to be careful with IOUs because that'll create karma if you're not careful.
Well, and you'll end up with a stack of things that you owe like forever. Like, that's what credit is, you know, like it's like forever and you drown in it and you can't fix it, you know? So yeah.
So this is one of the limits I've had to set on my own thinking in regards to this. Because my own generosity, if I was giving loans all over the place and most of them would never come back. And I would have this feeling of, this one friend never spoke to me again. I gave him money and he disappeared off the face of the earth, and I never spoke to him again.
I've had people do that. Yeah. I call that a blessing too,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. But you know what, Laura, you have the components in your chart. And, one of the things that we talk about a lot in my class is how you can dial up certain numbers and dial down other numbers, because they're all frequency. And when you learn the frequency that they all vibrate at, you can look at your chart and say, I do have this ability. Let's dial that up. And I don't want a lot of this ability, like this people pleasing crap. And
so does this come out, like if you were to do like a family numerology reading, would this come out in the family numerology reading? Like the things people are working on and what they're, really? Okay.
Actually, when you do a family, when you look at all of them at once, you see all the patterns. Like you see how they fit together. You see how they hurt each other, help each other. You see who the savior is. Like you see all of it. I just did a family reading the other day and I was like, oh, this is why this happened. And this is why that happened. And, all this stuff.
Would you be, next time we come on, would you be up for doing something like that?
I would love to do that. Yeah. Like
I'm happy to be the guinea pig on this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can do up to 12 people at a time, but you might want for an hour, maybe like
I don't even talk to that many family
3 or 4
members.
people.
I have like 3 family members I talk to.
But yeah, basically it'll show the patterns that you're all working on together. And usually your parents will have the extreme of whatever it is that you're working on so that they can push you and trigger you and get you to learn it. And that's good and bad though,
Oh,
so
that sounds really
you notice the bad, but the good is there too. So
love that.
Yeah.
So for those who are watching today, because I know you have an event for tomorrow. Actually, it starts tomorrow. You have your wizard school starting tomorrow.
I do. So tomorrow I am having a live talk about wizard school because I am opening the doors officially tomorrow again. And it is a really good time to join me. Like this was perfect divine timing, even if it wasn't totally planned.
The universe was like, this has to happen now. And we're like,
but yeah, so if any of you are interested in joining wizard school and learning how to become a numerologist, I welcome you to come join me tomorrow. It's free. It's just a live talk. We're just going to talk about what wizard school is and how it works and all the things about it. And it'll be fun because you'll hang out with me, which is always fun.
Always fun to hang out with
you. Anyway, and I do have a link for that. So you do have to
I dropped it right here. There's the Zoom link for it.
Okay, cool.
If you're interested, I do have that here, and you can also drop it there if you want in your chat for your people.
Oh yeah, I will do that. I don't know how to do that, so I'll do that later. Like I don't know how to do it on here, but
well, you just drop it in the chat. When I drop it underneath, is there a comment spot where you can comment?
There is a comment spot, but it's like grayed out. I don't know why.
Oh, that's weird.
So yeah, I don't know why, but I'll do it later. It's fine. But yeah, so use that link and get registered, and then it's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, and I will be there live and we will talk all about it, all about numerology and all about wizard school and all about how amazing my classes are, because they are.
They are.
Everyone that does them loves them. So
every person that signed up for your classes has come back and told me they're like, thank you so much for referring Tami. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So
my classes are good because they're completely led by my spirit guides. Like they really honestly are. Because I was not
my favorite part. A lot of my classes are the same way, and that's my favorite way of doing chaining because the guides know more than we do anyway.
Well, and if you want to know something interesting, so I talk to my guides whenever I'm getting ready, whenever I'm doing my makeup and my hair and things like that for my day. That's when I talk to them the most, because that's when they can catch me and I'm not doing anything else. And this morning I had just a few hours of sleep because, like I said, I realized I was going to be on here a few hours ago. And I just said, like, I looked in the mirror and I went, guys, can you just please help me? Like, just help me say the right things. And, because normally I at least mentally prepare for things. And I was like, just tell me.
I asked Tami last week, I'm like, can you come on the podcast on the 14th? She's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then I just disappeared. I didn't even confirm that she was going to be on. I was just like, poof, gone. Sorry,
but
Tami.
Also, you said, hey, call me. And I was like, totally going to call you. But I have been so busy. I've had my grandkids all week. So, but yeah. So, whatever.
Michelle House says you're a night owl anyway.
Oh, my goodness. I normally stay up until the sun comes up working. So, I mean, every time I do your show, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get up at 8 a.m. How am I gonna do that? I just went to sleep, but I do it because I do love your show. Like, I really love meeting with you, and I just love that there's nothing that's off limits here. Like, you can talk about anything and you don't feel restricted and you don't feel like judged and, all the things.
It's just two friends hanging out, having a conversation with a bunch of wonderful people, just kind of listening in.
I love that I'm recognizing so many of the people nowadays. It's way different than when I first came here.
Well, we've had kind of like a couple of years to get to know each other, and not just as a community, but the support that we have for each other in this community is so beautiful.
Well, I saw something on your page, and I saw a lot of people come and defend you and talk, on.
That was that miscommunication that happened a couple of weeks ago. Yes. I made one critique about something, and it ended up with somebody writing a 12-page tirade about me.
I started reading it and I was like, oh, screw that. But I did.
Honestly, it was terrifying to me to see how you can say one thing and that one thing can be twisted into 20 pages of absolute horseshit.
Yes.
That's a little scary, actually.
We're in this thing, this cancel culture crap. So you have to worry about all that stupid crap. And that's really hard for people like us. Like, you're such an authentic person. And you're someone who just tells your truth. Well, I mean, it's right in your number. So, like, I don't even have to know that about you to know that about
my 9/11 truther days. Now it's truth. Yeah. But I realize there's different versions of that. And I respect that. Like, my truth might be different to yours, and that's okay. Yeah. But when it comes to, like, facts, when it comes to things like, does this galactic race actually exist? Mm-hmm. That's where I'm like, no, we can't. No, there's enough misinformation and confusion out there anyway. So if I see something like that, I'll be like, no, this isn't right. Or maybe this is right. Or maybe, no, I don't believe that. I don't resonate with that. And I say stuff like that all the time. And one person I said it about, just one person. And that.
The only difference between you and everyone else is that you're saying your truth. That is the only difference. And people can't handle that. People don't. The problem is that people don't know how to do that themselves. It's
okay if it doesn't resonate. If what I say doesn't resonate with you, that's perfectly fine. But don't like I said, that person took it so personally that they made up so much stuff about me.
Well, I told you, I read, I tried reading it. It was so long. And then I went into the comments, and about halfway through the comments, I went, oh, this sounds like bullshit. But then I saw all the people coming to your defense. And I was like, wow, see, that's why a community is important, because one person can't just come along and say, you know what, forget you. You don't matter now. That's why you create a community, because you create a community that really knows you. And when that one person comes along that doesn't know you, that community says, you know what, get out of here. And that's really what I saw happen. I don't know if that was my perspective.
I just pride myself on having integrity. I just want to be honest. And I've even corrected myself. I've come forward and said, look, I put out misinformation unintentionally. I was misinformed. And so here I am setting the record straight. Like, I will do that for myself more than I will even do it for other people.
So, there are two numbers in the chart that say that someone has integrity, that someone walks in their integrity. You have both of those numbers. There's a number that says that you are truly authentic, a completely authentic person. You have that number too. You are someone who lives by what you say. So, there's a lot of coaches and a lot of spiritual people that say one thing and do a completely opposite thing. You are not that person.
I would be a hypocrite if I did that. And
you are not a hypocrite. You are not. You walk your walk. And I will tell you, that's one of the reasons I respect you so much. And that's one of the
to me. Thank you for
that's
saying
one
that.
of the things I asked you, halfway through knowing you. I was like, why do you do this work? And when I saw your heart, I went, okay, you're true to who you are and you're true to what you're doing. And that to me is everything, like
I'm just trying to
integrity.
make the world better than how I found it.
And
That's
you
my
are.
mission.
I think you are,
And I don't want to leave here with karma. So that's why I forgive everybody. If somebody stabs me in the back, I'm like, I love you. I forgive you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking any more, no baggage, no karma, no nothing. My slate is clean.
Yeah.
That person who stabbed me in the back, I asked my guides, I said, did I already repair that karma with that person? And they said, oh yeah, many lifetimes ago. And I was like, oh, thank God.
So you're going to have a lot.
Healed.
You're going to have a lot of relationships like that in this lifetime because you are clearing the past. Like that is what your life this time is about. So you're going to have a lot of relationships that are like that, like, all kinds of different types of relationships too. But really you're somebody who came here and you're here to clear generational trauma. And that's not just family trauma. That's all trauma in every direction. So you like look at the world and you go, well, I get that it's always been this way. It stops with me. And that's who you are.
The other day, because I've been clearing ancestral karma for people. And whenever I find like dark ancestral contracts, that means it's like a dark contract that the family is all linked to.
Yeah.
So I've been clearing that for everybody. And I said to the guides the other day, I was like, whenever we find an ancestral contract, can I just clear it for the whole ancestral, even if it's not, with an entity, can I just clear it for everybody? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I didn't even know we could do that. And they're like, yeah, you can clear it for the whole family. I'm like, even people that aren't getting a clearing today, we can clear it for the whole family tree. And they said, yeah. And I was like, that's what we're going to do from now on. Every time we come to an ancestral contract, we're just going to clear it for everybody, the whole family tree. And the guys were like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
So that feels good though. That's why I was like, yes, I can help more people than even just the person I'm clearing right now. Like it gave me so much joy.
Yeah. I have a friend that does a lot of energy work on me. And she always tells me, your mom got a healing today. Your dad got a healing today. Your grandparents got a healing today. And I'm like, what? But she does that too. I guess that's how energy works. I don't know.
It feels so good though, doesn't it? To hear that and it's been cleared and somebody gets a clean slate. I'm like,
yeah. I just love the idea that you can say like, I'm clearing something that nobody knows how to clear. Like nobody knows how to fix.
I had one client that came through and they had 14 ancestral contracts. And I was like, 14? That's insane. Most of the time it's like 2 or 3. And I asked the guides, how come they had so many? And they said, because they knew this clearing was going to happen.
Oh.
Before they were even born, they knew the clearing was going to happen 40 years from now. And they said, all right, everybody give me all the baggage.
I was going to say
stuff, give it to me. I will be the one getting a clearing. I will get it cleared for everybody. So
that was not my thought. I was thinking this person knew it somehow on whatever soul level. And then they went, hey guys, you can all fuck up now. It's all going to get fixed.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, wait a minute. If that's true, that means that this person before they were born would know that 40 something years later, I would be sitting down to do this work. So they knew before they were even born that I would be doing this work for them on their behalf. And the guides were like, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did know. That's why they chose to have so many ancestral contracts. And I was like, think about it though. Think of how many years, for 40 years, they had their whole family's worth of baggage on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of contracts. And I wonder how, I still think about that one client time and time again. And I'm like, I wonder how things have gotten in the family since their 14 ancestral contracts were cleared.
Well, it would be awesome to like do some kind of follow-up with like generations later, and see if that actually changes or it goes off in some other weird direction. Like, who knows,
Oh yeah. The guides are always talking about those ripple effects. They always talk about how you don't realize the ripple effect. You may see the rocks getting across the water, but you don't see the ripples that are making it all the way across the lake.
Yeah. One of the main things, so like there's people that have, that have come here with certain jobs, to affect a lot of people, and they will be a target then because they're going to affect so many people in their lifetime, and those people are constantly having things come at them and come at them and come at them, and I see that, like, I see the ripple effect, because you see how they help one person and then that person helps two people and that person helps three people,
Right?
and that's my
That
favorite.
movie, Pay It Forward. I loved that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sad movie, very sad ending. But the beauty
Yeah.
of it is that the whole community was like, all right, we're gonna create little ripples that go around the whole world, and they did.
That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. Yeah. But yeah.
I pay it forward all the time. I tell people, like, how can I pay you back? And I say, no IOUs. No IOUs. Pay it forward. Pay it for somebody else. Help somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's my new policy. No such thing as IOUs anymore. You don't owe me nothing.
Yeah, that's good. I don't want to be tied to anyone that way anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Tami. This seriously, I feel revitalized by this conversation.
Good.
Thank you for all the validation and all the for all the loving support. We're so blessed to have you in this community.
Well, I'm so glad that I could come. And yeah, I'll come back next time and we'll do your family. Like I'll show you what it's like to look at everybody at once, and we'll talk about like what you share and why you're in each other's lives and things like that.
Well, the funny thing is I have quite a few estranged family members in my life, so it'd be very interesting to see. I have I have 3 siblings I don't talk to.
Oh wow.
I haven't spoken to my 3 siblings since my father died in 2012.
Wow.
One of them owns his own pharmaceutical company.
Wow.
So we're not matching.
Strong conflict, huh?
I was gonna say we're not matchy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm having some sibling issues as well, but yeah. So I would love to look at that because it will show why that is as well. Like it'll show why you trigger them and they trigger you and things like that. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Make sure that you guys check out Tami's Wizard School tomorrow. I'm going to drop
guys,
the link one more time. What time is that going to be? What time does that start?
It's at 5 p.m. Central, and it's over Zoom, and it's all live. So, whatever happens, kind of, but
there's the Zoom link. I just dropped it. You should see it in the comments, or you can check out Tami's page. Tami's page has it. In fact, here, let me.
Yep, it's all over my page and in my group right now, so you will find it hopefully. and if you hopefully you don't miss that, because that is really where you're going to get all the information about everything. So it's a good thing.
So exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. I always love being here.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Well, feel free to call me. Like I said, we're going to hang out more often.
I am going to call you probably this week. When I say probably, maybe on the weekend, like when I finally have time. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell you all
that
about
time speeding up, as they say, remember?
Yes. I will tell you all about my Lumineers experience when I talk to you.
I am so excited for you. I'm living vicariously. Lumineers is a great band, so have a great time.
I am so excited. So
I love you all. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.